there, my friends. Welcome to the Glow Up Method. The Glow Up Method is the place. It is the space for you to have this glow up transformation, a journey that goes from the inside out, all in this pursuit to live a life that makes you proud. Hello there. My name is Natasha and I'm coming to you from a super squeaky chair today. And I am so truly honored and blessed. Sorry, I got a lot going on here today to be your host today. Hello there. Oh my gosh. So sorry. This is a bit, sorry about that. I'm limited to whatever tank tops are long that cover my incision because I put on a lot of Vaseline and Aquaphor, and then I have on this binder, and the binder could be kind of restricting and tight and stuff like that, so I don't want it on my incision. So yeah, and when I pull the tank top down, you know, sometimes then this part comes down, so I don't usually have it stretched to my, thighs here. So I have had a lovely day today. I had to go out to my project site. My son came with me. We did some, little things around the project that I could do and he could help me with, which felt like I accomplished something. Like I wasn't just sitting there letting somebody in and having them measure. So that was really exciting for me, and to get to spend that time with him. We then got lunch. I am an old school. I don't care. I love Fergie. I am like Fergalicious over here, Black Eyed Peas. It just is this like good beat and good words or whatever. So I put on the Duchess album and I just did some walking, dancing, and it just felt so good to move my arms, move my body. I felt really energized after that. I then laid down for a little bit after until I had to go pick up Tyler. And when I laid down that time, I really took ownership of like meditating. I put on my red lights. I put on like healing music. I was meditating. So I never fell asleep, but I was just in this euphoric, meditative state where it was like, I just was, and it was just beautiful. I felt like I was healing. I had my massage chair on. I was doing some massage, just light touch and massage to the belly, encouraging, whatever to do whatever it's got so the swelling can leave so I can have my mobility back and my, check out my newly, acquired tummy here without looking pregnant. So it's one thing to go from like having a loose big belly to a hard big belly. I'm not accustomed to that. Mine's usually just this loosey-goosey thing that was always clapping for me. I mean, she was super supportive because I'd walk up the stairs, she was clapping. I would do a yoga pose, she was clapping. I would dance, she was clapping. So I would sit on the toilet, she'd clap at me. So she was always very super supportive, this hanging belly, apron belly skin I had. But I've noticed it's been a little quiet without her here. And so there are certain parts that I'm starting to realize I do appreciate. Like not having those skin and fat deposits on my hips. Like it just always bugged me. And it was like I tried to get a bathing suit to cover it and things. And I couldn't. And I found it very challenging. It just in general, there's like actually been a couple things that I'm like, oh wow, I guess it is weird that I'm going to the bathroom and my skin is not just sitting on my thighs. So there have been a few things, and now that I am over kind of like the worst of it, that I'm saying, oh, okay, there are some silver linings. There are some great things that are happening because of it. I got to go outside again today. Got to spend a good 30 minutes out in the sun. I did some, watering, like intentional, not like, of course, when I was doing yard work with my son at my project site, then yes, I was in the sun too. But this was like my intentional, meditative, feel the sun, healing kind of vibe, massaging, just listening to the birds, love it. Really appreciate that. So, with healing, the thing is, it takes time. It can be an emotional healing. It can be a physical healing like I'm going through. It can be a mental healing. It can be a spiritual healing. Healing is a challenge. It takes time. You have really good days. Today I've had a good day. I've had good energy. I've had balance. I've had balance between doing things and being 1% better. Heck, I'm already at more steps than I did yesterday just by kind of living life I have more energy. And then taking that time to say, all right, before I get so tired, let's just recharge the battery now before it gets to empty. So, finding this balance between what it is I can do, how I can fuel my body through food, through water, through nutrition, through the sun, through nature, through all these things, like just really just incorporating this holistic approach, and the support of people is huge. So I say all this to say, whatever journey you're on, whatever healing journey you're on, it is a process and it takes patience, which I admittedly don't have a lot of, but I have found so much beauty within this journey that I'm so, 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 so grateful for. I'm so grateful for this time. I think about it. Had I not did this right now, I would be in the midst of having a blast. Like, let's get this straight. I would be right in the smack dab of my favorite class, on one of the 3 favorite days. Like, they each have their own things, reasons why I like Tuesday morning versus Thursday morning versus Wednesday night. And I would be right in the middle of it, and I'd be hooting and hollering and having a good time. But instead, I was in my driveway and I was enjoying the sun, and I was watering my flowers, which have given me some allergies. And I, am just appreciating where I am in life right now. I'm feeling the sun on my skin and feeling healthy in different ways. I have to embrace this part of the journey. I had a lovely conversation with my son, and it was really about how, he was saying, he's like, there's nothing that special about me. Like, I tell people they can do it too. It's like they just don't put in the effort and the work. And I said, yes, son, this is the premise of the whole glow up method. Why do I tell you my stories? Why do I tell you about that I was born to teenage parents and my mom's, battle with her own mental health and attempt with a suicide and the repercussions on me and just collateral damage. It wasn't intentional, and then living, with a dad. I saw him OD before, teen kid, doing his best. All these crazy things that have happened to me, from the molestations to the sexual assault, all these things. I don't say it for to be the victim of it. I don't say it to get attention for it. I say it because if I can overcome these things, and that wasn't just until I was a mom, then we can go into, like, I've had kids with, brain surgery, heart surgery, premature births, passed away in front of me, came back again, like, knee surgeries, I can go into severe peanut allergies, severe eye and brain disorders, just you name it. I swear my kids had it, and or seemed like it, and I think about it, like, I had so many reasons to just stop. Nobody would have even blamed me for it. Like, I had so many reasons to be negative, so many reasons to just hate life, so many reasons to feel ungrateful and why me, and cheated and robbed. But yet here I was able to find a way to say, and it wasn't always easy and it wasn't always in the moment, that, yeah, it sucked this happened, or it sucked these things happened. However, there is a lesson. There is something greater that came out of it. And guess what? Each one of these things you've overcome. You have resilience. You are strong. And that's a choice, And I was telling my son, I said, the only difference, like I tell in my story here, is the only difference with my weight loss journey, and that's obviously the biggest one that I can, have a physical, you guys can see. It's a measurable change, is I just showed up. I showed up, and that's the important part here, is like, to show up on the days you don't want to. You watch this podcast or YouTube or listen to it, whatever, however it is, when you don't want to. It's not always about what you want to do. Yes, that's part of it. Like, it has to be a part, like, the thing you're doing has to go into the bigger scheme of life. But even though, as much as I love my gym class, there's not every day that I want to go. There are days that I'm suffering, right? I'm suffering from an argument. I'm suffering physically. I'm suffering from something. And I have to make this choice to say, am I going to suffer more sitting here, or am I going to suffer there? And yeah, maybe I won't have the best workout in my life. Maybe I won't have the most energy and whatever it is. But the fact that I'm going, and the fact that I'm showing up for myself consistently day over day, that is the secret to anything, to anything. And you show up with this commitment to be 1% better. And yes, that is for that day. So if you say, oh, wait a minute, you're telling me I can go and I don't feel well and I don't want to go, I'm struggling, I'm feeling down that day and I don't want to go and I go and I don't have the energy I typically would. No, you're doing your best for that day. If we have these thoughts like, well, we're going to make today the best today we're ever going to have, because today is the only today we're going to have of today, it changes your mentality. If you wake up already dreading the day, how is it going to be great? How is it going to be remarkable? How is it going to make yourself 1% better? So really start focusing on looking at life as a gift. It is. As much as I've preached it and I've seen it and witnessed it in other people, I now have witnessed it and experienced it myself with my own 2 eyes. This is a gift. In some ways, I said on there, I was like, I'm pretty sure this is the hell. And wherever I went was the heaven, you came back and I was in excruciating pain. I was in, all kinds of things was happening and screaming code blues and people around. Like, I was not a heavenly feeling, but it was this human, beautiful experience that I get to still see my kids, and my kids aren't having this alternative universe where, they lost their mom over something so stupid. Like, what? So I'm really grateful to be here, and I want you to be grateful. I want you to have your root of your foundation to be grounded in the gratitude. Like, you're lucky to be here. Again, I say it all the time. Of all the billions and billions of people ever born on this earth, you are one of the few billion that actually got to wake up today. And if you're so lucky, you will get to do the same thing again tomorrow. No matter what you're experiencing, no matter what happens to you, life isn't fair. My dad told me that from the beginning. And I had this real controversy for a long time because I was a rule follower. I expected things to be fair. And I saw people who were cheating and cutting corners excel. I saw really good people get really hurt. I saw really bad people acquire all these things and wealth and popularity, and I didn't understand it. And as soon as I stopped trying to figure out and understand why it is a certain way and just accept that it is this way and focus all that energy onto myself, my life got better. My son has a friend that I as a mom, as just a human, I want to reach out. This kid is struggling. He's struggling over the game that my son plays. He's doing everything right. And he's been so instrumental. He was so kind to me when we went out to Dallas. And he was so complimentary of my son. And he, in a sense, took him under his wing in a lot of ways. And he helped him, and he's guided him, and he's given his advice, and he shared his viewers with him, and they've done different things together. They've been friends, and to hear that he is struggling, it hurts me. And again, I was reminded, he's comparing the game that they currently played to a game that was other years, and he's having these battles within, if he's good, and all these things that he's going through, and I just want to give him a hug. I just want to say, stop worrying, you just, all those things, it's difficult to see people around you suffer, even if it's something so minute as, in a sense, your video game career, right? To somebody else that may be like, what? That's nothing. I'm dealing with an aging parent who's has a stroke and all these things. I've done it all, and I've experienced it all. The hurt is the hurt. It's the same. There's no race or measurement or my hurt hurts more than your hurt. Hurt is hurt. Pain is pain. And to see a fellow person who is good, who is sharing good in the community, it breaks my heart to hear he's struggling. And it's difficult. And you just want to say, just you wish you could give them all that you knew in your mind to them. And you wish that you could see them, allow them to see them through your eyes. And so as I sit here and I have become way more independent, Chris is back, but he's like, wow, look at you, you're so independent now again. And you know, I'm challenging myself each day to be like, okay, I can do a little bit more. I can do a little bit more without pushing myself. And I think there was a phase in the middle part there where I wanted to just get back so bad that it was like what I knew was to push. I didn't know how to nurture Natasha. And so listening to my body, listening to my needs, listening to me, hearing my inner voice has been a gift. And I want you to listen to yours. And it may change. What you can do today is vastly different than possibly what you could do just even yesterday. We are changing people. Like literally our cells are I'm not like good on all this like biology stuff, but everything like regenerates our skin in so many days, our, you know, this, everything is, we are constantly changing and evolving. These processes from, you know, the separation with Chris, him moving out, coming back in, the surgeries, the stress, the financial thing. Listen, I'm changing. I'm getting a lot of gray over here, like a lot. Like I put it up in the ponytail and like, holy blondness. Maybe it's just I'm getting blonde, right? But I'm changing. I'm aging. My menstrual cycle this time was, the last 2 times, has been a lot lighter. And usually it's like Pandora's box. It's like, oh my God, what is happening here? I thought that was the way everybody's was. It was like a hemorrhage every other second. It seemed like, holy gosh, goodness. This was like chill. It was like, oh, okay, was this the way it was always supposed to be? You know, like, so I'm really like just accepting where I am and accepting the fact that I'm changing. I look different. I feel different. I'm wiser and I'm braver in a lot of ways, and I'm more courageous, and so are you. Like, take everything you've experienced around you and really use it to propel you in this next sense of life. I really want you to be rooted in gratitude, and I really, really want you to take time to discover your why. If your why doesn't make you cry, it's time to go give it another try. Because when you find your why, there's nothing that will stop you. It's always a part of you. It's in that root. It's in that root system. It's in that foundation of who you are, to say, I got to do what I can do. I may not be doing 20,000 steps today, but I think I can do 2,000 steps. I may not be able to walk a full hiking thing, but I can take my 1 block walk today. Do something to nurture you. And I really do believe it's all this holistic approach. It's all about addressing your physical. It's all about addressing the mental. It's all about addressing the emotional. And it's also about the spiritual, which I feel like is up for interpretation. Some people are really into their God or Allah or whatever, their denomination, Buddha, Taoism. There's so many different beliefs. And I don't think one is right or one is wrong. I think whatever you believe, whatever you resonate, if you want to take a hodgepodge of it all and create your own belief system, that's fine too. But there's something, the universe, source, there's something bigger and greater out there. I know, I've seen it. I've experienced it in my own life. And I'm sure you have too. And so having those things and combining them, working holistically to create this life that makes you proud, this life of your dreams. This is the place where you dream, where you daydream, where you fantasize, where you get lost in your flow. You're maybe a painter and you're painting and time almost stands still and you just can paint forever and nothing feels tired or sore. You could just do this forever. I really want you to lean into your gifts and explore with a childlike curiosity. Forget what everybody else is going to think of you. Forget it all. Really focus on doing the things that bring you joy. I blew bubbles. I was sitting in my thing, and one day my son was pushing me in the wheelchair, and I was waving to everybody with my pinwheel. And you know how many people wave back at me? And my son was like, Mom, they probably don't think you're normal in the head. I'm like, I don't care. How many people looked at me and smiled and saw the pinwheel, and it was like a childlike smile. Like they were just happy. It wasn't like, oh gosh, you know, poor lady. You know, just who cares? Who cares? Who cares? Just be you. Spread joy, spread love, spread kindness, spread gratitude. So I say all of this to say, enjoy yourself today. Find out who you are. Lean into your things. Approach your life with a childlike curiosity. And if you can please, 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 most importantly, go out there today, give yourself a huge smile. Turn that camera around, pull down your visor, look in the mirror, whatever you got to do, brushing your teeth, give yourself a big smile. Give yourself a compliment. Today, I am going to compliment myself on being 1% better than I was yesterday. I loved putting on my Fergalicious and feeling like a little diva dancer over there. So I'm going to say I'm super proud of my dancing moves as much as I can move in my limited capacity. And let me tell you, when I'm ready to roll, watch out, world, because here she comes. And if you can then please go give somebody else a big smile. Give them a compliment and just sit back and watch how they glow up. So thank you so much for tuning in today. Bye.